So, hi everyone, my name is Derek Vomaro, and I welcome you to a very interesting conversation that I urge you to stay on this video to watch till the end. I'm joined by the amazing Emilia Mueller, and I'm going to give her the chance to introduce herself. But today we're going to have a very important conversation, something that is of interest to not just professionals but also managers, people that are looking for jobs, people that are in the process of changing jobs or wanting to strengthen your corporate aura and then your knowledge, your experience, your expertise. I'm pretty sure this conversation will be relatable to a lot of people, a lot of you out there. So stick and stay and don't go anywhere. So welcome, Emilia, and maybe you can introduce yourself to the audience better.
Thank you, Derek. So my name is Emilia. In a nutshell, I've been working as a communicator for some time now, but I've been dreaming myself as a writer for quite some time, and I managed to do that already. So I guess I got the dream into reality somehow. I've been published so far. I have around 5 books, and I say that around because one
Mm.
of them is also published in a bilingual edition. Therefore, it has 2 editions. I'm a children's book writer also, and I've published so far only fiction.
Mhm.
And the book that we are going to talk about today is my first nonfiction book.
Awesome. Great. So I think people would ask, so what is the first nonfiction book's title? What book are we talking about today?
Thank you. Yeah, the book is called, I'm going to merely translate it into English because it's only published in Romanian, Corporation, Typologies, and Survival Guide.
Hmm. I mean, I've had the honor of reading the non-official English version of this book, and I can tell you for a fact that it's a must read for everyone out there who is an employee, an entrepreneur, a manager, looking for jobs, whatever it is that you fit into any of these profiles that I've described. You need to read this guide. Hopefully, it's going to be in English. Hopefully, we have to rally for that to happen, and then a lot more people across the globe can have access to it. I mean, when I read the book, Emilia, it was very connecting. It's very relatable, and not just about how you wrote it, which you're going to delve into pretty shortly, but it was about the fact that we are in a time where we need to actually understand how best we can manage the work stress that we all go through, because work is a huge part of our lives, and that is why this book is a very crucial material that can help people navigate the whole stress and then the whole system in the corporate environment. So, first of all, how do you feel about seeing this book published? Right? How does it feel? How when
Mhm.
you held it in your hand?
Oh, I felt so blessed and so happy. I think there are no words, given I'm a writer, but there are no words. Um, I think it was such a beautiful thing to see it published. And also, there was a lot of work from my side and also from the editor that worked on the text, so that it has now the shape that it has now been published. And also being supported by the publishing house. It's such an amazing thing, to be living.
Yeah. Which publishing house did this?
Paralela 45 is the name of the publishing house, the Romanian publishing house.
Awesome, awesome. And then what does it mean to you to have this book released now, like in this particular time?
Mm, I think, aside from me being happy, I think it got me thinking a little bit after I saw it published that it was the right time for it. And of course, I first relate it to myself if it's the right time for me. But also because there's such this change, in the workplace and how we work, and especially with the pandemic, and a little bit now after the pandemic, that we changed the way we work, and there's a lot of people who tested for the first time working from home, and this is me also included in those types. We got the chance a little to think about what we want in a workplace environment, and I think we were so running in circles. I go into the office, coming back, trying to get ahead of the tasks or the things that we needed for our personal life, that we didn't think about what we really need in the workplace environment. And I think we are in a point where we don't see, having a foosball table in a workplace, that we don't see having that importance, yeah, as we would have had it before. I think we started thinking that we need some clarifications regarding our job, our tasks, the way we work, the way we provide feedback, the way we receive feedback, and of course the mental health, which I think got a little more importance given the pandemic and the experience that people had working from home, being isolated, experiencing anxiety, and while as taking care of everything else around the house.
When you mentioned the mental health aspect of it, it got me thinking that, some people believe that work should stress you because it's work.
Mm-hmm.
What do you believe? Do you think work is supposed to stress the hell out of you, or you can still get work done and be in a positive environment and be happy about it?
I think I'm somewhere in the middle.
Mm,
Work is stressful sometimes.
mm,
You cannot work on, you can have it all put on a silver platter, and you deliver everything and you're satisfied and everybody else is satisfied with your work, with your results. I think everything in life is stressful at a certain point,
mm,
regardless if you love, yeah, what you do, be it a personal project or professionally. But I think we can learn, or we can unlearn some bad habits, and try to, like I said earlier, to deliver feedback in a different way. And I'm not talking just about the sandwich feedback, when you have to put one negative between two positives.
mm,
It's something that we can learn to, yeah, do different, and
mm,
to maybe this book is also a cry for everybody to look inside themselves and to think, how am I working? How are the others working with me? Am I pragmatic? Am I giving enough explanations for people to do their jobs or to help me do mine, and so on and so forth? So to, yeah, sum it up, yes, everything is stressful these days.
That's right, and it's important to have a balance. You
Mm-hmm.
understand, and that balance definitely comes from you and how you see things, the way you
Mm-hmm.
work, and how others work with you. Now back to the book. I mean, if somebody's to ask, what is the book about?
Mm-hmm. Uh, in a nutshell, the book talks about typologies, and I had my eye on the bad ones, and not because I'm focusing on the bad ones. I think the book started just because I have met the good ones, and they have taught me how I should work, how I should be responsible, what to expect, be it a manager or, yeah, a peer. And these typologies that I present in the book are those that actually drain our energy, and yeah, make you maybe sometimes feel unsatisfied or not motivated enough to do your job, because what's the use if they are, for example, one typology in the book, if they are encouraged to behave that way, why should I keep doing my job as I should do it if it doesn't matter? So the focus was on these typologies. For certain of them, I try to come up with ways on how to deal with them, and not to stress yourself too much, or to be in a position that you get a burnout from it. um, and maybe a cry from all of us that feel sometimes a lot of stress, that we want to work in different ways, and that these typologies should be, like I said, some behaviors should be unlearned, because the idea of the book was not to point fingers at people,
Mm.
just at the behaviors, and that they shouldn't be left like this, that they shouldn't be, "Oh, it's okay, we will do our work and they will be the same." The whole idea is not to look the other way around and
Mm.
just pretend that they do not exist, that
Yeah.
they do not drain our energy, that they do not make us feel unmotivated.
Yeah. After I read through most chapters in the book, I could see myself relate to some of the situations, and I believe that anybody who picks the book would relate some way somehow to the cases that you have illustrated in the book. And back to the cases, one question that I have, and I urge you that is watching, that you need to grab the book to understand these cases that I'm talking about. And I love the way you wrote the book. It wasn't just about what you were sharing from your perspective, but first of all, the cases, the stories that you told.
Mhm.
So I'm curious, are there stories in the book and these cases, are they real representations of um, people's actual stories that they told you, or that you've experienced, or they were just fiction? Because we know you to be a fiction writer. So is it one of your fiction stories, or these are actual situations that happened?
100% true.
Mm.
Fortunately for me, they are not all mine. I've collected these stories
Mm.
from colleagues, former colleagues, friends, and family also.
Mm.
And I just put them in, in the classifications and the typologies that I thought
Yeah.
they were a fit. But yes, they are true.
If they are true, then it means we really have a lot of work to do as people, moving forward after reading the book, because some of the stories, guys, I can tell you, they were quite terrifying. I mean, for people
Mhm.
to have to go through some things in the workplace. I remember one story that you shared that I really related to was a test case of a character named Seban, right? Having to go through a test in an interview,
Mhm.
which was going to take him 13 good hours
Yeah.
for an interview that he's not even been confirmed to get a job. And these are things that I believe a lot of people would relate with. And what I love also is the advices that you give, the more like the free consulting that you've given in the book, right, of how to maneuver your way through these things. I think they were very incredible. What inspired this particular writing style? Because usually nonfiction, we are used to do ABC. This is 5 steps to doing this and that. How
Mhm.
did you decide, or what inspired you to write this way?
I think some of the self-help books that I've read, and they or so far those that I've read, they have this way of putting the conclusion in the beginning and then illustrate what they mean through an example, a dialogue, or something. And it was something that I really found interesting. But also a few years back, I read the book of Adam Gray, I think it's
Mm.
his name, and it was called "This Is Going to Hurt." And
Mm.
there's the story of a doctor who decides in the end not to be a doctor anymore, and he relates the stories while he worked in the emergency.
Mm.
And this was also the style that I really loved, and maybe because we are so in a hurry, and it got me thinking, this is a way that these typologies would be shown better, to have like a presentation, a conclusion maybe sometimes in the beginning, and then the dialogue where you actually put the situation
Yeah.
in a certain case.
I totally agree. I think it sent the message across very clearly, especially with the emails. you know,
Mhm.
the conversation trails and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I believe if you're watching this, what you have to do is to try to get a book so you understand what we are talking about. And Emilia, do you remember the point in time
Mhm.
when you got the aha moment and went like, I'm gonna have to write this book. I'm gonna pick a pen and a paper or a laptop and then start writing something. Do you remember the exact moment in time when this journey began?
Um, if we agree on the fact that a book starts to be written before you actually start writing on it, then
Mm,
I would say it's at least 20, 25 years when I first got my first summer job and I got to meet some of the typologies presented in the book. And
mm,
then just the brain just collected stories wherever, yeah, I went, wherever my friends went, and so on. But the exact moment when I had the aha, the eureka moment, so to say, was during an online meeting
mm.
where a manager started telling something that was not fit to the business meeting that we were having. And I thought, oh, we're just, you know, prisoners somewhat of hearing this, even though it has nothing to do about, yeah, with what we were talking about. And then, yeah, I started thinking about these typologies, and from there the brain that collected all the stories started, yeah, putting the typologies into place.
Let's say 25 years ago, the things you saw from that
Mhm.
point
Mhm.
and now, have things changed or still the same?
uh I'm not sure to be correct. I know I've changed.
Mm,
I've learned how to deal with some things, or how to not let it get uh, too much of my motivation, or my wanting to be there or to do that. Um, because if I think back 25 years ago, or 20 years, and then 10, and so on and so forth, along the way I've met so many beautiful people, wonderful colleagues, wonderful managers who taught me this is the way you should do it.
I mean, I believe that most people need to be in an environment that is healthy, first of all.
Mhm.
We all deserve that. It's
Yes.
important. And that is why people need to have such a material to read to correct the role they play in creating unhealthy work environments. Sometimes we all expect to walk into a healthy place, but what is our role in making that happen? And I believe that once people read this book, you pick the lessons that I'm not going to do this.
Hmm.
Reading the stories, you can relate that I will not be happy if this is done to me. So I'm not going
Hmm.
to let this be done to another person. So it's really, really an incredible material. And then that brings me to my next question. What is the big message that you want readers across the world, people that are going to grab this material to grab from the book? What is the big message?
Um, I thought about this because someone else also asked me about this, and then I thought, yeah, it was maybe a little selfish, the reason behind it, because um, a lot of time I felt alone,
Mm,
and I felt like I was the only person experiencing this, and I was I don't know, I should have done things differently, or it was my fault that some of the things that I present in the book happened to me. I was triggering them.
mm,
And at first, the stories that I told to my friends, families, and so forth, was yeah, look how this funny thing, I only focused on the funny things and not the abusive ones. I thought always that I was the one to blame. And
mm.
once I started talking with people about this, I found out that no, I was not at all alone. I think we need to talk more.
Awesome. I mean, definitely, you should not feel alone. After reading this book, you definitely relate to a lot of things in it, like I said. And I really believe that this should be a movement. I hope that it doesn't end in the bookshelf. What next, Emilia? Is there going to be a tour? Is there going to be some movement? What's going to happen? Can we know what are the next steps for the book?
I never thought about part two of the book. But now with the book being published, people come to me, say, for instance, I had just a message this week. Hey, this week I've been in your book. I went to an interview and it happened just like it happened for that person, where she went to the interview, after giving a test, and then they just finish it because, and they didn't want to even give a reason. And people start, sharing those experiences. And I hear about a lot of stories, and find out about other typologies. So maybe there'll be a part two to that book. And I think, yeah, we should talk. If anything, we should talk about it.
Yeah.
Just, try to, we're not gonna fix everything with a mere talk. But I think if we talk about it, if we show that we need that change, at least people would start paying attention. Or so I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I like your style of the reason behind why you write. So if, I imagine you to be on the cover of Vogue, and then the title is "This author writes to trigger," and the trigger brings the change, right? So you write for change, and I think that it's important. I mean, that we could all learn from this kind of inspiration to shape the way we do the things we do, and then why we do them, right? So. Awesome. Thank you very much, Emilia. This has been a very interesting conversation, getting to get into the author's head, right? And how you see the things you've written and why you wrote the things you wrote the way you wrote them. Are there any final words you'd want to share with the audience before we say goodbye?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for this discussion first, Derek. And yes, I would like, to just say to everyone or whoever is watching that, don't start to believe that it's your fault. Talk about it, and I do believe we can make that change if we gather more, because only one person cannot do at all, and we need other persons, for anything. Okay.
Awesome. And what I would add would be, if we are really going to make that change, Emilia has started the movement. Now, what you have to do, just you can change something by just reading one case at a time. And you can do that when you grab a copy of the book. We are fingers crossed that we have an English version, and hopefully that Emilia will decide to come on a tour, at least visit some corporates where things could actually change. And we really wish you the best, Emilia. And thank you so much for sharing this with the rest of the world. It's a gift, and I think we are all grateful. So, guys, from Emilia and myself, until we see you again sometime, somewhere, it's bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.